your time. Let's dive in. First, make sure as best you can be distraction free. I'm going to make sure my noise makers are turned off and make sure you hopefully are not driving and can take notes. So if you're driving, be safe, but definitely be wanting to take notes. And think about also, what is your vision? Why are you here? I know a couple people already shared in the chat what they're most excited about. Feel free to, I love building community. So type in the chat, what inspired you to be here today? And feel free, be positive and supportive, everyone, and supporting people, being able to hold space. What inspired you to be here today? Got people from Texas, Mississippi, California. Welcome, welcome. Feel free to type in the chat. I'll go ahead and get started just for sake of time. I will have open Q&A. My goal is to talk for maybe 30 minutes. This is the first time I've ever done an info session like this. So my goal is 30 minutes with some slides, information, what you're going to receive for this first time offering beta pricing. It'll never be offered at this low price ever again. So you guys are going to be a part of early adopters if you decide to sign up. So again, today's session, I am having another one next week. Also, just FYI, if you want to come back or if you want to refer friends. We're talking about next week, Monday. I didn't realize that I was doing this right in alignment. If you observe Lent, next week is Fat Tuesday and Ash Wednesday, and so who knew? I was inspired by the divine on choosing that start date, and the whole goal is busting through your addictive behaviors. And I'm going to define those as well, because I think a lot of times there's a misconception. There's a lot more addictive behaviors than we realize. So the goal is to help you lose weight. The goal is to help you improve sleep. The goal is to help you improve digestion, improve your mindfulness, spaciousness, living with conscious intention, inner peace, which brings outer abundance. And of course, reducing or changing your relationship with your addictive behaviors. So my vision is to help 1,000 people this year. 1,000. So you guys may get to be a part of that. To be and become super conscious creators. You're going to understand more about what I mean by that in a little bit, of their best health, their best wealth, and their best wisdom. I'm the founder of the Healthy and Wealthy and Wise podcast, and now I call it my movement. I really care about people's mental, physical, spiritual health. And I find that health and wealth literally go hand in hand. You probably know people who have all the money in the world, but they're tired, they're overweight, they have a dis-ease, or maybe someone's the healthiest person you know, but they don't have any money. And then there's a lot of us that are everywhere in between, and the world is changing. The world is changing fast. And so even people's relationship with money is being tested right now. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So who am I? I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have a family here in San Diego, Southern California. We live in Vista. And in early 2021, and actually at the end of 2020, I hit what I call like proverbial rock bottom. Just to give you a bit of my story, I was struggling in my marriage. I thought I was going to get a divorce. I was making tons of money at the time, but I really felt and was addicted to this thought process that I had to work hard to make all of the money. I felt like a worthless mom. I was not present for my children because I was working all the time or networking. I was 30 pounds heavier than I wanted and heavier than I am now. Good news is I shed that 30 pounds. I was even trying dieting. And if you know my background, I was in health and fitness for 17 years. So I've coached 10,000 plus people in health and well-being and fitness and nutrition and cleanses and kitchen cleanouts, grocery store tours, detoxes. I did it all. And so I knew diets don't work, but I was desperate. My clients were doing okay, but many were having similar stressors. I was seeing a lot of people with addictive behaviors, a lot of challenges, like I'll be happy some a day when. I was binge drinking multiple times a week. I was depressed and shameful around that. I felt pretty numb and dead inside. I don't know if anybody can relate. I was struggling with grief. I had at that time 10 friends who had committed suicide, my father, my mother, my brother died back to back to back. And I just wasn't capable of facing it. So that's the biggest cause for my addictive behaviors, was just numbing out from all of the death and loss and abandonment that I felt. Something was gnawing at me inside. I wasn't myself. And a lot of therapists, courses, different types of coaches were just not working for me. Not saying that they were bad or whatever, it just, they weren't working for me. So I struggled with where to begin amidst the internal chaos and the busy mind. I don't know if you've ever had a mind that just won't stop talking and berating yourself, ego, going a little negative on the regular. And I knew that I wasn't my addictive behaviors. I knew that my results was not who I really was, but I didn't know how to change them, honestly, even with all of my experience in health and wellness. So I want to highlight the top addictive behaviors. And now I do want to put that disclaimer out there. If someone comes to me and they are an alcoholic, or they're addicted to drugs, or anything that is super duper unsafe, I always want to, please talk to a doctor, please talk to a rehab specialist. I am not that person. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a rehab person. I will say, however, that I think my 40-day challenge could actually supplement AA or Overeaters Anonymous. I think it can be a great supplement. Just make sure if you're in that situation that you seek counsel and you seek help. So here's a list of the most common addictions. And I even studied, because my brother died of alcoholism, and I was afraid the same thing was happening to me, or for me rather. And so I studied alcohol. I studied a program called Take a Break from Drinking. And I was really, really trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with me. How did I get here? And she had a list of all of the top addictions. So alcohol, drugs, smoking, food, anything that's highlighted is where I was at the end of 2020. Coffee, napping, believe it or not, is also known as an addictive or numbing behavior. TV, Netflix, scrolling on social media, that was definitely me. Also smartphone, texting, notifications, working from like 5:30 in the morning until sometimes 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night. Sex can be an addiction, gaming, fitness, working out. I've actually had that in a past life. Shopping and money. Those are the ones that she highlighted inside of that program. But then she also brought up, what are the root causes, and what are other side effects or symptoms that actually go hand in glove with addictive behaviors? Well, this list, I had all of them. So I don't know if you can read all these. I'll just go through them really quickly. People pleasing, overgiving. I had no healthy boundaries. People could reach me 7 days a week, morning, noon, or night. I had these limiting beliefs that I was not enough. I really, really studied that a lot in the past year, from childhood abandonment and trauma. And then, of course, all these people dying in my life. There was a lot of abandonment issues that I was born into. And then it just kept being a constant in my adult life, and that then converted to eating too much, drinking too much. Any too much oftentimes is that core wound of not feeling enough, so therefore you overdo, overdrink, overconsume, which is really supported, right, by society. Right, Supersize Me, and you've probably seen those documentaries. And just, the more you can buy, and Amazon and instant gratification, it's just insane how easy you can get into these addictive behaviors, right? Shiny object syndrome. If you find yourself every day going, I'm not finishing anything that I start, you lack focus, typically overcommitting, saying yes without even thinking, and then overthinking, overanalyzing, analysis paralysis. I call that an addictive behavior. Overwhelm. Getting into, my stepmother had a really impression upon me because she was addicted to overwhelm. Like everything was overwhelming. Drama or dopamine, adrenaline junkie rushes. As I like to say, like sands through the hourglass. I grew up watching soap operas, so I know that had a little bit of something to do with my adult life. Gossiping or worrying about others, just even worrying about others has been a tendency of mine, and really overdoing anything. Okay. So if you've ever thought, gosh, you know what? I just have an addictive personality. All of that, all of these things right here is unconscious. And many of them have to do with trauma responses. And they, gosh, I don't know if you've noticed if how much time and headspace these things can take over. Like I would wake up from drinking too much the next morning and I'd be beating myself up, overthinking, over analyzing, shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? I'm such an idiot, and that takes a lot of headspace and can easily cause all of the other things on this page. I do want to bring this up because this is something that I studied also with a trauma expert, and I watched the documentary Wisdom of Trauma. And this is something I'm putting inside of my Healthy and Wealthy and Wise community. A lot of times our trauma responses are just automatic. They can be part of your DMN, default mode network, inside of your body, inside of your brain. So I pretty much covered all 4 of these at some point in time in my adult life, and they all stemmed from childhood traumas. So workaholic, overthinking, anxiety, panic, OCD, difficulty sitting still, perfectionist, that's the flight, fight, anger outbursts, controlling, being the bully, explosive behavior, narcissist, freeze, difficulty making decisions, feeling stuck, disassociating yourself from that experience. And then fawn, that's the people pleasing, lack of identities. I feel like a lot of moms, dads, parents and spouses, that can happen easily. Codependency, having no boundaries, and feeling overwhelmed. So a lot of those on the previous page are connected to this. And I studied this for myself so that I could change. I wanted to be the change I could see in my world. So what if I told you you can get to the root cause of these addictive behaviors and change your relationship with them? What does that sound like? Does that sound possible? Do you guys believe me? What if I told you that you can get to the root cause of these and change your relationship with any and all behaviors? Well, I'm here to tell you you can, and I'm here to give you hope. So I got to the root cause over time. Like I said, my biggest ones were feeling not enough, abandonment, and then there was a lot of self-criticism, shame, and judgment that I put upon myself. But then guess what? As I do, as within, so without, it would also then show up in my relationship. So there was no wonder I wanted to get a divorce, because I was being triggered by everything happening in my marriage. I was being triggered, everything with business partners, clients, prospects. If you have a business of your own, when someone says no in sales, you can take it personally. And that's, again, goes back to an internal rejection wound, right? So over the next 40 days, starting on Monday, I'm going to help you do at least the start of what it took me almost 2 years to complete. Okay, I want to be totally transparent with you guys today. Rome wasn't built in a day. Now, 40 days is a special number. It has been known for a lot of addictive behaviors studies to really be a good time if you go focus on it. Focus. You've got to be able to focus. I would encourage you not to sign up for this if you're doing 3 other programs. I really wouldn't. Because I had to choose to go all in to be able to make the changes and be the change I wanted to see in the world. And it took time. That's why it took me a total of 2 years. But in the onset, it really was those first few months were the critical turning point. My marriage is now the best ever. I'm making money in the flow of my current passion, my true purpose and passion. And I'm so on fire. It doesn't feel like work. It's fun. It's playful. I'm deeply connected with my children. Oh my gosh. My kids, we do a little thing, favorite part of the day at dinner at night. And now they're like, Mom, we love your cooking. I didn't even cook for my kids, guys. I was too busy. I was addicted to busyness. A lot of changes there with my children. 30 pounds without dieting. I know it sounds probably shocking to some, but I lost it naturally. And that part probably took about a year. Clients having massive spiritual, emotional, health, and sales breakthroughs because I'm teaching them this stuff. Healed my relationship with alcohol and food, much more in alignment with my health. I see alcohol as celebration now, not escaping. It changed my relationship with grief, no longer numb, highest and best version of myself, and I'm trusting my internal wisdom. I didn't trust myself. Does anybody here ever feel like they don't trust themselves? You don't have to raise your hand or type in the chat, but that was one of the biggest shockers. I didn't trust myself to make the right decisions. And so I learned how to develop my intuition through this process as well. Still on the journey though, I will tell you, I still struggle with addictive behaviors. They're a part of us. I think if someone says, I don't have any addictive behaviors, then they must live in a van down by the river. They don't have a TV. They don't have a smartphone because we have them. We're human. And yet you can love yourself, forgive yourself, and hold yourself, and really actually learn how to parent yourself and forgive and accept in the moment instead of letting these things run like autopilot, taking and stealing your joy and then causing you to magnetize or manifest things in situations that are painful, right? Is anybody here ready to have joy, happiness, and excitement in their life? Feel free to type in the chat if that is you. If you want joy, happiness, excitement, spaciousness, come on, tell me, type in the chat. Let me know. Let me know. I just want to know you guys are still awake. Are you still here? Do you want joy, happiness, excitement, spaciousness, ease, and flow in your life? Okay, nobody? All right, just making sure, just checking. All right, cool, awesome. This is kind of a serious topic, and I want to lighten it up a little bit. The other reason I'm really passionate about this time is because depending on who you talk to, there's different people that call it period 9. We're heading into a different age, also known as the age of Aquarius. Some people say it's starting in March. Some people say it starts next year. There's just a lot happening galactically. Whether you get into that stuff or not, you felt the change. The pandemic was the beginning of the transition, the dawn of enlightenment. So if you're feeling a lot of feels, it's actually, you're not alone. Everybody, unless they're completely numb to life, is feeling it right now. And so I want to help people be prepared. And either you're going to lean heavily on your addictions because so much is going to be coming up for you emotionally. Depression's on the rise, mental health. I just had another friend commit suicide this month. I just found out this morning. So I'm still in shock. But this is a time where we're transitioning to where if you don't learn how to trust your intuition, if you don't learn how to tap into the superconscious, if you don't learn how to navigate addictive behaviors, it's going to be really, really painful and really, really challenging. It's also a time where we want to help you self-discover your uniqueness and love yourself so that you can shine your light out to the world. So for me, this is very purposeful, intentional timing that we're working with right now. So here's the breakdown. I'm going to go through all of the elements, what I'm calling the 5 fundamentals. I might call them 5 pillars at some point. This is my own creation. This is everything. I probably spent over 60 grand in the last 2 years. I went into debt, okay, to heal and to save my life. I chose life where a lot of my friends chose death. And so my hope is to help share everything I've learned. And that's not counting the 17 years I was in the health and fitness industry where I coached 10,000 people. This is the best of all of that. So the 5 fundamentals inside of this 40-day challenge, and it's also, for those of you who don't know, this is also a subscription. The challenge itself is a standalone. But if you find that this is your jam, this is helping you heal, this is helping you fall in love with yourself, this is changing your relationship with alcohol, food, helping you develop emotional intelligence, so on and so forth, then I definitely would invite you to consider being one of our founding subscribers. So there's breath work, Kundalini yoga, meditation, superconscious creation classes, and a nutrition component that I'll talk about all 5 of these over the next few slides. So take some notes. Again, you may want to ask questions. When we get to the Q&A, I'll tell you when, and then you can put questions in the Q&A feature. Don't type any questions in the chat because I might miss them. So who here has done breath work? Has anybody done any breath work? Type in the chat if you have. Breath work is phenomenal. It has helped me do a lot of things really, really well. These are just the highlights of overall, depending on where you're at in your health. Can help balance out blood pressure, improve your sleep, reduction of PTSD and trauma emotions that are stuck in your body. The body keeps the score, and it has done that very well for me. So I reduced a lot of my trauma, stronger respiratory system. A lot of times if you just don't breathe, that alone can cause stress and dis-ease and addictive behaviors. I know that happened for me. Better immune system, which is really important in this, post-COVID era, release stresses and moves chi. It really energetically, I've felt so much in my body. I was really shut down by a lot of trauma and grief. I couldn't get into my body the first couple of sessions of breath work. So we're going to have breathwork classes inside of this 40-day challenge from my favorite breathwork facilitator, Dr. Mel. She's a doctor. So I have a team inside of here with me. It's not just me. Next is the Kundalini yoga. We're going to be doing some really profound Kundalini yoga addictive behavior meditations. Those are going to be, just so you know, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6:30 a.m. Yes, you heard me, 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'm going all in on helping you. We're going to be doing a lot of these, they call them Kriyas, and it helps reprogram your subconscious mind around addictive behaviors. So I do want to mention that part of the schedule, but I'll go over the schedule later. It includes movement, breath control. It's not the same as like vinyasa or hatha or any other one, but it does include meditation and chanting mantras. Helps deeply with addictive behaviors, increases creativity. A lot of times my addictive behavior, it came from, this compulsion to help and to just not feel enough. So I looked outside myself for my answers, and it shut down my creativity. So I stopped writing for a decade. I couldn't write. I just couldn't. I couldn't do anything creative. That part of my brain was shut down. So that helped me awaken my creativity. Helped with grief recovery, big time, rebalances and opens the chakras, if you have understood the 7 chakras, and strengthens your central nervous system. I just went to the chiropractor yesterday for the first time in 2 months. And he said, your body's amazing. Your nervous system is really good. So I'm saving tons of money. I don't see my practitioners nearly as much as I used to. Helps with improved focus, clears brain fog. So if anybody out there has a lack of focus, this will help. Reduces stress and anxiety, transmutes negative emotions into positive. So negative emotions are not bad. In fact, I had good girl syndrome. So I shut down my anger. I shut down, a lot of the negative emotions, but we are human. They're supposed to be there. They're part of our pain body. They're a part of our emotional body. The liver represents both anger and joy, right? There's a shadow and a light for everything, a positive and a negative. We live in that dualistic society. The tricky part is if you get addicted to the negative thoughts and the negative loop, that's when all the other addictions become so much more easy to follow. So we're going to increase your emotional intelligence and so much more. I'm a huge fan. I'm getting certified in this, and I actually have an in-person location, but we'll be doing all of this stuff online. I just want to let you know. We have 5 core meditations that we're going to focus on. Addictive behaviors meditation, that's going to be the biggest one because of the challenge, because of what this is. We want to reprogram your brain. Meditation is critical. I honestly wasn't doing these kinds of meditations. And of course, that's how it was easy for me to fall prey to addictive behaviors. So we want to be able to do this. Inner child healing meditation, going along with the trauma. That's with my friend Deepak. Pineal gland, also talking about third eye. Third eye, whether again you look into the chakras or not, you don't need to. Just know that the pineal gland is in your brain, and it is a huge component to helping you sleep and balance and regulate your circadian rhythms. And for those of us who are into the third eye, that's part of your intuition, your connection with your higher self. And that's really, really critical. Relationship healing meditation. So if you're in relationship with others, which, well, you're in relationship with yourself, forgiving yourself for your addictive behavior. I got to do a lot of that because I hated myself for it. So we're going to work on that. And then, of course, attitude of gratitude, meditation, those will be happening over the course of the 40 days. And you'll have access to a lot of recordings and stuff in the member vault as well. Next is the superconscious creation classes. So I got certified in this process. There's a book called You're Not Broken by Christopher Michael Duncan, not required reading at all. I'm actually bringing in a lot of my own tools, not just Chris's tools, but it's a bonus if you read the book, You're Not Broken by Christopher Michael Duncan. So what we want to do is bring the unconscious to the conscious so you can shift. There's a saying, what you don't know don't hurt you. That's totally not true, because I really had an unconscious ability to just do things without thinking. And a lot of those choices were addictive behavior choices based on my not enough wound, my abandonment, also based upon I felt like I needed to be perfect, right? So we want to work and tap into the third mind, which is the superconscious. That is what I said earlier, the intuition, also known as your psychic higher self, magnet of your truth, divinity within, your beingness. There's so many names. I'm just going to call it superconscious. So in those classes, and those will be during the daytime, there'll be one of them on average per week. We're going to bring to light what is very likely causing your addictive behaviors. And I have some tools that you can use at home, also daily, that we're actually going to start next week going over that tool to help you really self-discover and dig into what is causing all of this, which again, it's part of your subconscious. If you follow Joe Dispenza, he also promotes Kundalini. I just found that out. So that was kind of cool. But all of those guys, it's really big right now because you can't feel the positive without feeling the negative. And most of my addictive behaviors were in order to not feel the negative. I had a lot of grief. I had a lot of death. I had a lot of business stuff that all came really from that not enough wound. And so it was constantly mirroring me and triggering me. And instead of feeling the pain or the trigger, I would work or drink over it to try to numb the pain and not look at it, which is the exact opposite of what we're supposed to do. And we're going to do it in a positive, loving, compassionate way. I'm going to teach you how to do that. So those are the 5 things. I just want to actually, no, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Now we're on to the nourish your mind. Sorry, we're on the last one. The 5th one is nourishing your mind, body, and soul with profound nutrition. Nutrition is medicine. Okay. Food is medicine. Plants are medicine. So I do already have a couple people that are on this call who've already signed up. This is optional if you want to work with plant medicine, if you want to work with psilocybin, which is magic mushrooms, but I prefer to call it an entheogenic tool that helps quiet the mind, helps you go within. This was the start for me, April 2021. I took 1 small dose of psilocybin inside the capsule. And I'm not kidding. I was sitting on my desk, still working, of course, because it was 6 o'clock. And why would I not be working at 6 o'clock at night while my husband cooked and took care of the kids? And literally, I couldn't keep my eyes open. I had to go to the couch and meditate. Forced my hand, quiet the mind, and go relax. I just was crazy. So especially if you have anxiety, depression, sleep issues, that's a big one, that this can help. If you can't quiet the mind enough to meditate, if you sit and meditate and immediately your mind goes like da, 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 if you can't focus, if you've had a lot of grief and addicted behaviors, of course, this can help heal your mind. Again, totally optional. You can ask questions about that when we get to the Q&A. I partnered also with a company called My Nourish. I do have an additional component that if you want help, especially if you struggle with cravings, especially if you struggle with eating breakfast. That was one of the things that I did that really, really hurt me, is I'd work straight through lunch thinking I had that compulsion, right? Oh my gosh, I got to do another Zoom. I got to do meetings back to back to back to back, or I'm just not doing enough, right? That enough wound. So I'd skip lunch. And sure enough, by 4 or 5, my blood sugars would be all whacked and they would drop. And sure enough, I would drink alcohol at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Or if you're an emotional eater, maybe you reach for things that are not nourishing. Like, we want you to have whole food nutrition. So this is superfood, cellular cleansing, detoxification tools, very, very small product line. There's really only 3. There's actually maybe a 4th protein powder. I think you might have that now that I think about it. So if you decide you want support with that, again, optional. But I mention it so that you're also cognizant that during this 40 days, you're mindful of your nutrition. Food is medicine. It's meant to nourish you. And that's, again, where if you're an emotional eater or drinker, you're going to want to work on how can I change that vision? How can I change my relationship with food, sugar, alcohol, junk food, or even if you just eat fast or on the run. I was always slamming my food down because I wanted to go back to work. That was also an addictive behavior, just eating food, wolfing it down. And that was coming from a place also of not enoughness, I discovered. So you have that as an option. So in summary, and then I'm almost done, we'll be starting next Monday. I'm going to take you through the schedule. I don't have the whole schedule done, but I'm going to show you through March 1st. And then I already told you about the 6:30 a.m. Pacific time. I'll always speak in Pacific Standard Time in San Diego. And it brings you right through March 31st. Again, if you observe Lent, we're pretty much going to be right there, so March 31st is the last day. We'll have a closing class to have, kind of go on what's next. What are you going to take forward? What are you going to leave behind? What are you going to bless and release? And what does your new life look like? Okay. So let me just really quickly open up the member vault, and then I will drop the link in the chat for you guys. Also, if you haven't already seen the website and how to sign up, I'm going to drop that in the chat, and then I'm going to open up the member vault. So just give me 10 seconds, guys. Gotta open this up. We'll go over the schedule, and then you can ask your questions. All right. And for those who've already been a part of this Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise new, by the way, online wellness community, it launched February 1st. It's brand spanking new. So this is what it looks like to get access to the calendar. Okay. And I will, for those of you who sign up, I will email you the schedule today through March 1st. Okay. So for those of you who already signed up for this subscription that just launched February 1st, we already have been going. Friday fundamentals have been happening. So if you sign up, you actually get to be a part of this on Friday morning. So Corey and I think if Rachel's here, you guys would qualify for that. Okay. But starting next Monday, so you see right here, I'm going to highlight it. So we have Monday, Wednesday. Wednesday, there's a double header because that's our first making the unconscious conscious with ease and grace. So making the unconscious limiting beliefs conscious with ease and grace. That's when I'm going to be sharing with you weekly tools that you can actually use pretty much every day. But Rome wasn't built in a day. Like I said, this took me 2 years, guys, to amass and to create. So just remember to be kind to yourself, and as best you can, maybe cut out some things in your life. I might encourage you to do a social media fast. I might encourage you to consider going to bed earlier, especially if you're in San Diego and you want to be a part of these meditations. The early morning meditations are that early on purpose. your whole day goes exactly how you start, right? The beginning of your day, you're still in the theta state too, where you're still kind of waking up, depending on which time zone you're in. So you're going to be able to really rock this if you can attend those 3 times a week meditations. So we also have breathwork class on the 23rd. And then I'm just going to scroll down. So it goes right now through March 1st, but I have to put in all of the March classes. And again, I know, Andrea, you especially wanted to know. I'll actually drop this in the chat. And I don't know that you can save the chat on webinar, but there's roughly 2 classes per week. Every week I'll have the making the unconscious conscious, just so you know. And then actually, before I drop that in the chat, for those of you who sign up, I'm not going to have you focus on this, but I do have a whole magnetic mind course. That's the work I did with Chris Duncan. I do have the 5-day health and vitality challenge inside of here. I also have the 5-day heal your relationship with money challenge inside of here. So for those of you who continue on past the 40-day challenge, you can see there's lots and lots and lots and lots of value. This program is actually valued at thousands of dollars. Just that member vault by itself. Oh, I see what you mean. Sorry about that. Thanks, Rhonda. So there's the schedule. And again, I'll be adding all of March, but just write down Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6:30 a.m. Pacific. Every week will be the meditation. And then each week there's either going to be breathwork and the unconscious class, or Kundalini and the unconscious, making the unconscious conscious. I apologize. Rhonda caught me. I did not send it to myself. I didn't send it to y'all. Thanks, Rhonda. Appreciate you. Okay, so now the cost is $97. And this is the first time I've ever done it. So Karen, some of you guys know this. I love me some beta best pricing, right? It'll never be $97 again. Basically $2 roughly over, not too much over, but roughly $2 a day for 40 days to change your life. Now you got to meet me halfway. The only regret I ever have in charging so little is people don't take it as seriously. People don't take it as seriously. So it's up for you to decide. Remember, I spent 60 grand to get to where I'm at, and to be able to share this with you is my gift back to the world, because so many people are hurting. And if you choose to do the superfoods, it's 197. If you want to add that in. And then for those who'd want to consider the microdosing, that's actually a different price point altogether, and I can talk to you separately and do a consultation about that. It's not for everyone. I totally support that. You could just spend the $97 and go for it. This is the only time I'm going to offer this year, so the timing is impeccable. I'm really excited for us to open up, basically go into spring together, and knowing that New Year's resolutions are behind us, knowing that there's so much possible for you. So just like these little ducklings, these little ducks are jumping off the edge, right? Taking a leap of faith, heading out into the deep end of the pond or pool, whatever that is. So I just want you to, before we do questions, I want you to go ahead and close your eyes, because you're going to get used to this with me. I want you to go ahead and close your eyes and envision where you could be by April 1st. No fool's jokes here. Close your eyes and think about what your life could be like if your addictive behaviors changed, if you drank less alcohol, you didn't wake up with a hangover and beating yourself up like I was. Maybe your waistline shrinks a little bit. Maybe you have an improved relationship with yourself, so much so that you have deeper relationships with your friends, your partner, your spouse, your kids. You're present with them. You're not on your phone. You're not distracted. You're home. And when you're home, you're home. You're not working, distracted. You're not saying yes and being all things to all people. You're fully alive. You're fully committed and connected. You're dancing, you're playing, you're singing, you're sleeping amazing. You're waking up feeling refreshed. You discovered some really powerful things about yourself that once scared you, but now you're turning them into your best friends and allies, and you're empowered to live your best life instead of afraid. You have hope. Maybe you're buying some new clothes because you're getting closer to that ideal weight. Maybe you find a new relationship and it becomes super good and juicy because you are so authentic and transparent because you've done the work. You can meditate with ease. You've made the ego your friend. When the ego starts chatting, you just kind of laugh and say, hey, I see you. I got you. I know your number. I'm in charge. My intuition is in charge. I trust myself. Just give you a few more seconds to see what your life could look like April 1st and beyond, with newfound dreams, newfound purpose, newfound commitment for yourself, because you choose life and living. Go ahead, if you haven't already, slowly open your eyes. Now it's question and answer time. How'd I do? Ah, gosh, Lois, I always think it's going to be 30 minutes and it's 44. Any questions? I did repaste the link, Rhonda. I would invite you to invite a partner, invite a friend, just like Corey did. Thank you, Corey, for inviting a friend or two. Awesome. Wonderful. Any questions? Q&A feature is wide open for you. Wide open for you. And then, like I said, once you sign up, my goal, my commitment to you, Andrea, and everybody else who does sign up, I will have the whole schedule to you. I wanted to make sure February was locked and loaded, and I had to wait to hear back from a couple people to finalize that. But I'll have the whole schedule done by Friday, and I'll email the schedule to you. But then once you sign up, you'll get access to the member vault. How long is each class event? Great question, Kathleen. Thank you. So this is the beautiful part of it. The meditation in the morning is 30 minutes tops. Some days it might be 20. Okay, the first week will probably be 30, so 6:30 to 7 a.m. Pacific. And then the other classes are gonna be anywhere from 20 to 60. Let's just say 30 to 60. I know the Kundalini class, she's given me a whole hour. So I'm like, sweet, I'm going to take it and give it to you. So breath work is usually 30 minutes. The unconscious becoming conscious class that I teach, that's going to be an hour. I also have in March 8th, that wasn't in there yet, but March 8th, I have a Express Yourself. I have a friend who's a Love Your Body coach, and she's going to be talking about how to, in a positive, loving way, express yourself. So like one time, because of this journey, when you start releasing the emotions, I let out what I now call sacred rage, but I was angry and I wanted to like blow some shit up. I wanted to beat my bedroom apart. I had never had that happen before. And thankfully, because I was working with coaches, they taught me that rage in a sacred manner, how to do it, how to be with it. And oh my gosh, whew, I had massive explosive creativity flowing through me. And now my husband's not scared of me. Mostly, let's be honest. But anyway, so yeah, we're gonna make sure you get lots of really powerful, profound support. So 30 to 60 minutes for everything. Oh, great question, Rhonda. Do you require a lot of journaling? Here's the thing. and I'm glad you brought this up because I would have probably forgot to say this. There are no have-tos here, right? And I had you do that vision exercise. Now remember, you do got to show up and do the work. So yes, I would recommend attending as many of the live classes as you can. If not, they're going to be put in the member vault, usually within 48 to 72 hours. It's a big commitment on my part, guys. So I just ask for a little grace. So if you don't make the live, it'll be put inside the member vault. Once you're done with the challenge, just so you know, if you don't continue past it with the subscription, which is only $97 a month as well. For now, I'm going to raise the prices later on that too, but you'll have access to the member vault as long as you're a paying subscriber. But once you're done with the challenge, then just so you know, you will lose the content. This is meant to be done in a compressed time frame. So the more you put into it, the more you'll get out of it. So if you miss it, tune into the recording. And then get the most bang for your buck. Don't wait for some a day, right? People do that all the time. And journaling is not required. However, it's highly encouraged. And you'll find out when we do the meditation and at least my classes, breath work, Kundalini, you could, excuse me, you could journal. But if you're really wanting deeper transformation, get a new journal, get a special one. Use it for the whole 40 days and journal when you feel called. It was really hard for me until I released more trauma to even journal, total transparency. So that's why I don't want to say it's a requirement. It's an option. And for those of you who feel called to do it, and I'll prompt you. And I have a tool that's not journaling, but it kind of indirectly is, that may help inspire you to journal. So I've got all these little hidden elements. Everybody's going to have a different experience. Rhonda's experience isn't going to be like Sandy's, and Andrea's isn't going to be like Anne's, and Kathleen's is not going to be like Corey's, right? Roxanne's is not going to be like Karen's. So just letting you know that you got to do what's best for you and what calls to you, but I would recommend it. Karina, I mentioned I will be out of town here and there. If I miss anything, can I do it? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So my commitment is to get the recordings to you, ideally 24 hours. However, my VAs are the wild card. So 24 to 48 hours, you could get the recordings. And the best part is, like the 6:30 a.m. meditations, a lot of them are going to be the same. There's redundancy. The repetition is the mother of learning. It helps with application and wisdom. So you'll have, even if the recording that you miss isn't available like right away, you could go back and repeat a previous recording. And Karina, you're already a monthly subscriber, so you'll have access to this for as long as you're a monthly subscriber as well. So what's the superfood again? I'm going to leave that question live. It's a company called My Nourish. I'll show you the website. You get a discount through me. So just letting you know, but there's like no auto ship, no requirements on that. Just a one-time order is sufficient. And then if you like it, I think the discount will still apply. I'll talk to the owner. So I'll show you the website. I already have meetings scheduled for, yep. So I said, yep, Andrea, they'll be recorded. Yep. And they'll be inside of the member vault within hopefully 24, no more than 48 hours. So yes, to recordings. Absolutely. And you already know the member vault, Andrea, so you understand how that works. Will this video be available after we end this introduction session? Yeah, absolutely, Corey. I would love for that. Thank you. You're so amazing. I love it. I do have referral affiliate fees for anyone that helps me. I covet your referrals. I really do. I really want to help people wake up with ease and grace and, improve their lives. So I will get this recording out as soon as I can. I also am streaming it live on Facebook, full disclosure. So you can also go find it on my Facebook profile. But yeah, I'll get it to you hopefully by tonight, Corey. Thank you for passing that along. Oh, great question. Yeah, Andrea, because of the nature of this work, I do not do Zoom meetings for a lot of reasons. If you're crying, If you want to be lying down on your meditation, I don't want any dogs barking. I don't want any noises. So we will always use the webinar format. Always use the webinar format. So you can be off camera. You can do whatever you need to do, scream, cry, sometimes the breath work. We've had to grab pillows and scream into the pillow. So I just want to make sure that you know that you will only see me and you will never be seen on camera. Yay, Roxanne! Yeah, perfect. So Sandy, is the last question. It's 1:53. So I'll just quickly show you guys the superfood makeup. And then you can always email me. I'll drop my email in the chat. But lois@loiscoffee.com is the email. And I'll be emailing out, just so you know, I'll be emailing out this recording. So then you have the opportunity to receive my email. Hopefully, check spam. If you don't see it by tomorrow, then I would guess that it went to spam. So let me pull up my Nourish. Also, you can sign up for the 197, and then I'll ship you what I chose for you guys is the cellular detox. It's a supplement as well as a superfood that you just scoop. In fact, I'm placing my order today. And remember, there's no fasting required. There's someone was like, hey, can I do a fast for the whole 40 days? And I'm like, hey, that's fine, but I'm not coaching you to fast, just so you know. I just really want you to consider your nutrition. I'm not coaching on nutrition. I just want to remind you of that. I'm supporting you with a healthy option. And we'll talk about, abstinence along the way. If you want to give up alcohol, that's totally up to you. I'm not about abstinence. I'm about changing your relationship with yourself first, and then to start looking inside and loving yourself and looking for the answers within. Then you don't reach for the food. You don't reach for the alcohol. Unless, again, food and alcohol celebration, it's all about what is that relationship with the thing that you're addicted to, right? Again, I'm not a rehab expert, I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist. We're that's not my clientele, but to be able to help you change that relationship, that's what I really, really want for you. Because I did the hard white knuckling and just willpower and cold turkey quit. I coached thousands of people to do that for 21-day cleanses here and, different things. And success rate is maybe 4%. Maybe 4%. That's why they call it yo-yo dieting, because it'll work for a little bit, but because it's not lifestyle and it's not true choice coming from within, it's an external thing, right? Then you're just going from diet to diet to, whatever. So it's on my website, actually. I wanted to share this with you. They misspelled the word Nourish, but this is the company, Sandy. And you actually get a promo code. If you want to do a bigger order, then what, if you sign up for the 197, I place the order for you, then you don't have to deal with it. But if you wanted to, you save 10%. You can go to the website. Tell me if you don't see the website. And then there's the superfoods. There's something called beta glucan, which helps with the immune system. Then the essential minerals, and then there is a protein powder. And I wasn't focused on that so much, but if you struggle to get your protein in, you have that option as well. So just really quickly, just because it's the I think the simplest no-brainer. This is 37 superfoods. There's 4 flavors, 30 servings in each. There's even a recipe booklet. And this is my friend's company. This is not an MLM. I don't quote unquote rep this. This is just a bonus. So you can go in here and it has all of the A to Z So if you guys like, I could email that to you. If you want that, shoot me an email. Okay, shoot me an email if you want to scope out the products. I know Andrea did that. And it's all good. So again, email me if you want, if there's anything. Don't count on me looking at the chat and remembering, okay? Email Lois@loiscovey.com if there's something I said that you want clarity on. I'm happy to answer questions, and just be patient with me. Lots of emails and stuff coming through. So, and that's great. Hey, I intermittent fast because I microdose, not every day, but I've gotten into intermittent fasting. So it's a really good thing. I also have a healthy coffee alternative recommendation I could give you if anybody would like that option as well. Alkaline pH balanced coffee would help me kick the habit. Coffee was definitely one diehard. Oh, Starbucks. Probably spent who knows how much money I spent in Starbucks in my 20s. All right. Well, if there's no other questions, it does. It does. Yes, it does taste like coffee. It's delicious. It's silky smooth. It's not, I don't like this word, but I'm going to say it's not cheap, you know, so, but it's really good for you. So I just want to, oops, that's not what I wanted to share. I was wanting to share one more slide, guys, to close it out on a positive note and a perspective note. Okay. You'll hear me say this all the time. Probably you'll get sick of hearing me say it, but Rome wasn't built in a day. So I really want to make sure that you know this 40-day challenge is like that duck that jumped in the pond, right? It's a stepping stone. It's a stepping stone into the first day of the rest of your life. And so my hope is that you will join me. My hope is that you'll gain hope and bring a partner, bring a friend along. It could be a great team building if you have a sales team, your spouse, your partner. It's so much fun to do it with a friend. Yeah, Andrea, it's I can send you my website for it as well. It's called Organo. Just throw me some questions via email. I'll send you the website on exactly what it is. Sure, I've got. Oops, why is it? All right, cool. Yeah, if you want the coffee information, just shoot me an email. So this is from the book, The Compound Effect. And if nothing else, I want you to write this down, because a lot of times people sign up for programs, right? This is why New Year's resolutions don't work, because they expect instant results. I'm sorry, that's not going to happen. I think you could experience some pretty immediate change, but I don't want you to expect instant gratification. So think about the book, The Compound Effect. In fact, that would be a good book to read. Small, smart choices plus consistency plus time can make a radical difference. The things that you're doing here could change the rest of your life if you make the commitment, if you create the spaciousness and the time. So there's no visible difference in the short run. However, if you go all in the next 40 days, create more spaciousness, say no to some things that maybe normally you might have said yes to, really look at your lifestyle, look at your choices, look at your habits, we'll inspect them every week. Then those choices become different behaviors. Your behaviors will then become new, healthier habits. And over time and consistent time, you'll see that radical difference in your health, your relationships, your happiness, your success, and your income. Health is wealth. And if you have a shopping addiction, if you have a tendency to fall into the not enough category like me, sometimes you can not only overspend, but you can undersave. And if you lose your health, like I essentially did, look, I spent 60 grand to get it back. And as a result of that, focusing on that inner journey, everything in my life changed. Everything. So that's my wish for you on this day. Sending you guys so much love. Thanks guys for staying. I think everybody stayed the whole time, and reach out to me if you have any other questions. I'll get this recording out to you. And just as I think of my friend who committed suicide, and it was actually a murder suicide. So I lost 2 friends in one shot. I just really want you to think about how you can love yourself today on this Valentine's Day. How can you, even if you don't sign up for my challenge, how can you choose you first? Put your oxygen mask on first and make a difference in yourself first, so you can be the change, be the light to the world. Because there's a lot happening this year, a lot happening all around us, and it all starts with you. It's an inside job. So here's to your quest of your best health, your best wealth, your best wisdom. I will have another info session next Tuesday too, so you can come back to that, bring friends, same exact presentation. I just will be doing it again, because anybody can actually sign up through March 1st and still pay the same price, but still have incredible value with 30 days as opposed to 40 days. So that's just another little tidbit too. All right. Sending you lots of love. Be kind to yourself and others out there, and hope you have a great rest of the day. And we'll see you, if you're starting with me, if you've already paid and signed up, you can start Friday morning at 6:30 for meditation, and you'll get all of this in your email. Mark down 6:30 this Friday. And I'm also, I forgot this, my meditation teacher, Bhakti, who was a part of my program last year, he actually also has a Sunday morning meditation. So I'll be adding that into the mix. It won't be in the member vault because it's not me. He's just giving it as a gift to my clients, to my community. But I'll give you more information about that as we keep moving forward. Okay. More surprises, more gifts, more fun along the way. All right. Take care. Bye-bye, friends.